Hi there! This past week, the videos that I was doing relied heavily on photos. They were looking at photos, using photos to kind of set up a timeline of things and other things like that. And as I was doing the research for them, I kept getting distracted. I would search for a photo that I knew existed or search for a name or an article, and I would find all these other things that I wanted to look at also. And so at the end of the week, I kind of had a big miscellaneous file of photos that, for one reason or another, I thought were worth sharing, even though they didn't really fit in with the topic that I was looking at. Some of them are funny, some of them are fashion fails, some of them are things that, as always, just don't seem to add up in terms of corroborating dates and events and things like that. So what I decided to do with them all was put them into one video and title it Megsey's Careful Image. And obviously I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek there because most of these actually do the opposite when it comes to Megan's carefully crafted image. They detract rather than add. So I thought this would be something fun to do. So this doesn't have necessarily a topic. It's just kind of all the leftover photos that I wanted to share. So I'm going to start out sort of chronologically. Go from when she was young to when she is older. So this is a photo supposedly of Megan. I believe it's supposed to be when she is a year old. Now, is it just me? That doesn't look like Megan. For one thing, even when she was younger, her hair was pretty curly. That hair is as straight as an arrow. And the other thing I noticed was, and of course this is a baby, so it's very possible that it changes, but it's interesting that I do think that looks more like the Markle nose than we normally see on Megan, which of course we all know she's had work done, so of course it's not the original. But I, for one, had trouble seeing that as Megan. So I am interested in your opinion. Do you think that this looks like the Megan we know? I mean, it could be, definitely. It didn't look like it to me. And this is kind of one of the photos that I was looking at saying, her hair was curly when she was a baby. Here, if you look at the teeth, it looks to be about the same age as the last photo. But here, she clearly has curly hair. So who was that kid with the arrow straight hair in the previous photo? That to me just doesn't look like Megan. But the other features do seem the same. Like I said, it seems the same teeth. The nose is a little more bulbous than it is now, but we know she's had work done. So interested in your thoughts on that. This was interesting to me because this is supposedly Megan at age 3. Now, if I were to guess, she's at least 4 or 5 there. But, I admit, I'm not good with the age thing. Those are clearly baby teeth. Her hair is very curly. And for her hair to be that full and curly, it's got to be pretty long. And to me, it just looks a little too not awkward. Like younger kids, until you're about 4, you're kind of awkward. And the way she's waving, it just doesn't seem awkward enough to still be a toddler. So to me, this is a 4 or 5-year-old. Now, this one, I just put it here because it's funny. I mean, what the hell is Dorito wearing? I mean, for goodness sakes. I've never seen anything that ridiculous on a grown woman, but I mean, and this is the picture you're going to give to the Daily Mail? I mean, if I was Doria, I'd be pretty ticked off that she gave this to a newspaper to publish. But there you go. You got that. Now, this one is interesting to me. This is from Netflix. The last one was from the Daily Mail. And it's interesting to me for 2 reasons. For one, the pictures that Megan gives are either just her or her and Doria. There are very few that Megan hands over that are her and her father. The other thing that it strikes me is that there seems to be a gap in when Doria is with Megan, where they're doing things that I have no doubt that the pictures are real. Like the last one. The last one I believe is a real picture. One that I wouldn't be happy if I were Doria and it was turned in, but nevertheless, I do believe it was real. This one, it's starting to get into that questionable age where I doubt a lot of the pictures of Megan and Doria because I don't think Doria was around then. And isn't it interesting that those are the ones that you start to be able to notice, this picture's not quite right. Now this is interesting. This is Megan and Doria taking a nap on a chair. Looks like a dog across their lap. A dog that I don't recognize in any other photos. I don't remember seeing this dog, but okay. But I thought it was interesting because of the braids. I don't think that Megan really likes sharing many photos where she has her hair in those type of braids. But I think it's interesting because it shows that she did have her hair that way a lot, or she had her hair that way often enough that they took a photo of it. But it's just the fact that I think that Megan shies away from sharing those photos. That's what I thought was interesting about it to me. Not that she had her hair in those braids, not that that was anything unusual, but I don't think she liked sharing those photos. Now, this one was very interesting to me, primarily because Megan quickly made friends when she entered school, and here she is, a young girl with a group of friends as they play together. Well, no, that doesn't look like school. It looks like they're pretty dressed up for school, and she looks a little too young to be in school. So what was this? And these girls are in pretty fancy dresses. So this now goes along with the photo from one of my videos where she's supposedly dressed for an aunt's wedding. Well, what aunt? We don't know that she has any aunts. So what's the situation behind this photo? Is this a party that she's attending where they're wearing tights? Look at her. She's wearing tights. Interesting, no? Anyway, I don't think that this is them playing together. I mean, this is clearly a pretty fancy occasion for these girls to be this dressed up. Now we have Megan and Doria at a dinner party. While Doria and Megan enjoy a low-key time in the photo above, the duo proved they truly know how to glam it up, with the pair seen here enjoying a fancy dinner out. Well, I thought they didn't go to fancy dinners. I thought they couldn't afford them. And this is, again, something by Netflix. I don't remember ever seeing another photo of Doria with a haircut even remotely like that. I mean, this is supposed to be, what, the 80s? Yeah, I'm not believing it. I could be wrong. Could definitely be wrong, but I'm not buying it. Now, I know this is not a photo that, few of you have, most of us have seen this photo before, but I thought it was very interesting. Cradling her baby cousin Donovan. What baby cousin Donovan? Who's Donovan? Who's Donovan related to? Is this a Markle or a Ragland? Who knows? But relatives say that she is unnatural with children. Now, why do you think in the early days, this is from an article that was right before the wedding, why do you think that they're pushing this narrative that she's great with children and animals? Oh, maybe because of her brother's letter that says that she, in fact, should never be left alone with them? You think? Maybe? Yeah, I'm going to say yes. And obviously, as a royal bride, the expectation was that she was going to bear children. It's kind of, what the royal family is expected to do, to carry on that line. So she ought to be able to bear the children, and she better be a good mother. And who else was a good mother? Oh, Catherine. That's right. I just find it funny the way they are so pushing certain parts of her narrative and her image. It's so obvious. This photo was interesting to me. I had not seen this one before, But you can tell if you've watched the Royal Grifts video where she talks about Meghan and Nanaki at a birthday party that the Royal Griff, I believe, correctly identified as the birthday party of Nanaki's little sister, not Nanaki's birthday party. And if you see here, you can kind of tell that Meghan's wearing that hot pink skirt, that dress with the velvet top and the hot pink skirt. That's what she's wearing here. And again, it looks like she's making herself the center of attention at someone else's birthday party. Yeah, shocker. But it's interesting. It says that this is a Christmas celebration, but we already know this has nothing to do with Christmas, that this was Nanaki's sister's birthday party. We already know that. But I guess what? Because one girl is wearing a red and green plaid dress, they're going to try and pretend that it's Christmas? Does she even know what her photos are supposed to be from or about? It's like she can't even identify them. Now, this was a photo I had never seen that is supposedly from Meghan's yearbook. And this was when, she was excelling at her academic studies. And in this yearbook photo, she is proudly the president of her school's debate group. Why is she always like the president, the queen? Like, wasn't she ever just a normal kid? Like, everything is like above and beyond, so that she's always, the leader of every group. And I don't know. I don't even think that necessarily looks like her, but that does look like it's supposed to be Nanaki next to her. And why aren't they wearing the sweaters like the other girls? And how do we know this is the debate club? And this could be the yearbook club for all we know. This could be the school newspaper. Who says it's the debate club? There's nothing that shows what kind of a club this is. This could be the Spanish club for all we know. Meghan wants it to have been the debate club, and she wanted to be the captain. Otherwise, she'd have made it obvious exactly what this is based on, actually getting it from the yearbook where it says something underneath. No, she's just making it up. Now, going through all of her photos, I think I've been able to identify about 3 different theatrical events that she might have been a part of. One of them, she was clearly an orphan. It would look like Annie. It had, a cityscape in the background. And I think it was labeled, the beds were labeled orphan or something like that. But this could be anything. It says here, she's shining in a school play aged 14. One teacher remembers she could play any character. She was really good. Yeah, I bet she could. I bet she could be a lot of different characters. Do you know what I think I'm learning the most from this? I think I'm learning that you should never believe anything you read in a single newspaper, because clearly they don't do their job and actually investigate or find out if anything that they're printing is actually the truth. Do you mean to tell me they actually went and found a teacher that was going to say that about Meghan? Or did Meghan just say, oh, here, just say this? Yeah, that's fine. Just say this. Now, this, I believe, from what we have learned, that this would be her middle school graduation, right? How come this woman never has any graduation photos where anybody else is in a cap and gown? I mean, were the photos not taken, or did she just not have any left and, had to make them all up and therefore had to make up the people in it and so then didn't put them in caps and gowns? I don't know. Where's the photo of the 5 girlfriends all with their cap and gowns? Because it only ever seems like Meghan's in a cap and gown, as though they're just desperately trying to prove that she graduated from somewhere. It says here, well, in the UK, we're used to black graduation gowns. When it came to Meghan's graduation, yeah, this is middle school. How come they don't put that? This was entirely different, with the future royal bedecked in white for her big day. Yeah, just like she did at her wedding that she shouldn't have been in either. Now, those were kind of the, Meghan as a kid photos. Now we're going to move into some of the older photos. And this one, I just really love this because it says here, Meghan's college days. Alarm bells right there. They've got wine bottles in the back. But this is supposedly college days. Meghan studied at Northwestern, and just like any uni student, here is the teenager posing in a messy kitchen. Well, no. That's not a messy kitchen. She's not a uni kid. She's got wine in the background because in the UK, that, a university student would be able to drink, not so much in the US, but if you look next to those wine bottles, you will notice a white tiled wall, right? You notice that, an all white tiled wall. And that all white tiled wall was famously her wall when she lived in Toronto. You see, that's the same kitchen that we just saw that was supposedly Megan in her university days. Nothing is real. Nothing is when they say it is, and nothing is from when they say it is. I mean, that she would have to even lie about this. Why not just say this is her, her kitchen in, Toronto? Why did they have to make it her uni days? Well, because they were trying to create a background that didn't actually exist. So they had to create it. And so pictures from her last week in her kitchen in Toronto suddenly became her messy kitchen as a uni student. And speaking of that house in Toronto, the most photographed rented house in history. But there you go. You see again that white-walled kitchen. You see her looking inappropriately sexy. I don't even know what to say about that. She always has her hands up by her face or touching her clothes or her hair. Ugh. And those poor dogs. I worry about all animals in her care. And I do wonder, are those dogs okay? I mean, when was the last time anyone did a wellness check on the dogs, let alone the kids? I mean, we know nobody cares about the kids, but shouldn't someone give a crap about the dogs at least? Are they still alive and well? Yeah, a photo of her in her bed, which I'm sure Queen Elizabeth just loved having out there. I mean, unbelievable. She has no boundaries. And so that's why she can put a photo of her bed in a robe in a magazine. Although, that can't be her bedroom, right? That's got to be a hotel, right? It doesn't look like that would be her bedroom. And here we go. Like I said in one of my other videos, why are there so many photos of Megan looking at herself in a mirror? Like, does she have nobody to take the picture of her? Does she think these photos are all attractive? I mean, what, because only she can get the right angle? Was this because it was before Moore and Harriman joined her life? Maybe that's it. I mean, again, how many mirrors does she have in her house? That just about any room, she can take a picture of herself looking at herself in the mirror. Going to get into a fun bunch of pictures, and these are all the pictures that I am stunned Megan was okay with getting out there. These are all her traveling to see Harry pictures. This one isn't too bad. She's got the glasses on and the baseball cap and the obligatory suitcase. But this one, okay. But they get worse. And, I have to wonder, who was like, hanging out at the airport just waiting for Meghan Markle to walk by? Obviously no one. So these were clearly planned, But here we got Meghan Markle put clothes into storage in Canada before she moved to Kensington Palace with Prince Harry in late 2017, contradicting previous claims that she hadn't left any possessions behind. People were starting to catch on, I guess. I don't know. But look at the hair. Whoosh. See, that's why you don't wear Panama hats. This one, I couldn't tell. Is this a real photo? Like, is this a real magazine cover, or if this was someone's meme? I kind of thought this was someone doing a meme. So if you know who did this, please apologize. Let me know. I will give them credit for it because I think it's hysterical as a meme. But if it's not a meme, are you kidding me? Style file. Look at her hair. Her hair looks a disaster. And this is her, doing her walk to yoga. I guarantee she spent more time walking to yoga than this woman ever did actually doing yoga. Just my opinion, allegedly. Do your own research. But I don't think... She just liked walking around with a yoga mat in her hand to make it look like she was going to yoga. Now we're getting into these images that are supposed to be the carefully crafted Meghan Markle. This is for some magazine or other, and she's in her backyard. Like, what the heck is she doing? Is she 12? Or is she engaged to a prince of the UK? Because that's when this was from. But my goodness, like, the naive thing, the ingenue. No, you're not Diana. It wasn't working for you. You weren't selling it right. And you know who else was kind of a young innocent? Catherine. So it's not just Diana that Meghan tries to copy. It was Catherine too. And the thing that gets me is she tries to play the innocent, even though these pictures were already out there where she's trying to be the sex symbol. I mean, do your hair, lady. Like the half up, half down. It's not working. You don't look good. But look at the virtue signaling with the photos in the background of the, trip to Rwanda. As though she ever looked at those photos. Those photos probably were taken out just for this picture. Because I doubt they sit on her wall. Well, they might sit on her wall. She just never looks at them and doesn't have a clue who the people in those photos were. She has a big thing about leather jackets. She's often wearing them. Yeah, they're not a good look on her, but she wears them anyway. They're not a good look on her because she just doesn't have the body type. She's too boxy up top, and wearing these boxy leather jackets just accentuate things that she should not be accentuating. She should be diminishing the boxy shape of her shoulders, but she doesn't. She accents it. It'd be one thing if she had a thing for jackets and she looked good in them. But she has a thing for jackets. She picks ones that are boxy. They look terrible on her frame. And she usually has parts of her stomach bared. I think I have another one where she has her stomach bared too. She always got her stomach bared. And there's just no reason for it. She's a grown woman. She's in her 30s. This isn't like, a young 20-something who, is just kind of going on trend. She's in her 30s wearing this outfit. And if you don't believe me, see, 2017. And she's there wearing a dress with laces up the side. I mean, again, could you imagine what QE2 thought when she saw this photo? She must have been livid. I mean, she didn't ever want to be a royal. She wanted to be a Hollywood starlet. And the problem was, she screwed up being a royal so badly, she would never be a starlet after that. Not to mention, she was a terrible actress. She was too old to be a starlet, too short, all that stuff. But, those are the minor considerations. Even if she could have overcome all that, she just screwed it up so badly trying to be a royal and failing. Now, this next set of pictures, these are my zombie pictures where she looks like, the living dead. Like, what the heck is this? She's got her hand all in her hair, and it's not even like it's looking good, or it's so overly casual that it just looks like a mess. Ooh. What was she thinking that night? I mean, the clothes she wore just made her skin look terrible. And more, there are a lot of these photos. I actually went to Getty Images and looked through them all. Like, this wasn't just one bad photo this night. Like, there are like 5 or 6 of them that are equally scary looking. And this is for a photo shoot. And you know damn well someone was sitting there trying to like do her hair better or do something with her face and her makeup. And she's like, no, I look good. I like this. Good. We're here. We're good. Look at her. I already said it. These are the zombie photos. Only a few more. Yet another one that I have no doubt Queen Elizabeth II wanted destroyed. Wanted nothing to do with this. Why is her hair all in her face? It's not sexy, Meghan. Put your skirt down. Do your hair. And then it will be appealing and attractive. This is nothing. You look like you just got hopped out of bed. Literally. I don't know. And again, this is for a photo shoot. She liked this look. She thought she looked good. She looks stunned. She looks like she's, just woken up and gotten out of bed after a nice little romp. Now, this one I had never seen before, but this takes the cake. This is from her own Instagram. Her love affair with vintage, right? because that Meghan Markle just says vintage to me. So clearly, this was something that it was, look at the photo of her picture too. This was clearly something that, bandwagon she jumped on and then realized it just wasn't going to really work for her. I mean, she's like, the clothes are too big for her. The hat doesn't work. The purse, it's longer than her legs. Oh, for goodness sake. Do you remember when they were living, I believe, in Not Caught? And Harry made a comment, something like, yeah, all we have is an IKEA couch. Oh, really? Well, Meghan was photographed at Toronto's IKEA, sharing it on her Instagram page. So, there was a time that IKEA was good. You really got to let your fans know that you're IKEA so we can surround you and ask for pictures. Who doesn't want that? Who the hell knows? I mean, that's clearly barely even English. But it seems that there was a time when IKEA wasn't a bad thing for Meghan. That was before she was a royal bride. Once she was a royal bride, only the top tier for her. And the last picture, something that I figured would make you laugh. These are, in fact, wax figures in Toronto for Meghan and Harry. Yes, yes. What's up with his eyes? I don't know what they're doing with his face there. I mean, her face looks, that's a pretty good likeness of her. His whole, up around his eyes is all messed up. Way too dark. But that's better than what Meghan does when she styles herself. So hopefully this was a nice way to start the week, a little bit of a laugh. You can see from some of these why I would want to share some of these photos, because they got some winners in here. And even if I couldn't find a way to fit them into what I was actually making a video on, I thought this was a fun way to share it. Hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you for listening, and do keep dancing.
Dancing in